If you've been paying attention, you may have noticed that I like corvids. That's birds in the crow family, and I've been walking quite a long way every day. And one of the things that keeps it interesting is watching the antics of the various corvids that are around the village. I pass by about 3 crow colonies. There's one at the churchyard, and there's a couple of others set around. And all their raucous cawing and the things that they get up to keeps things interesting. And there's lots of jackdaws around the village as well. Plenty of magpies, which are my personal favourite. They get a bit of a bad rap from folklore and so on. Unfortunately, magpies, they're seen as cruel and mischievous and birds of ill omen, I suppose. And then more out Andover way, you get rooks. If I want to see ravens, I have to go to London, but there you go. It's what is it? It's a charm or a tiding of magpies, which kind of, I guess, speaks to their magical trickster nature. It's a clattering or chattering of jackdaws, which makes sense because they're kind of raucous and they go around in little gangs and yeah, disrupt bird tables and things like that. Murder of crows, obviously, everyone knows that one. It's a parliament or a building of rooks, but owls is also called a parliament of owls, so I guess they're both wise birds. So I guess if you want to differentiate, I guess you'd go with a building of rooks. Jackdaws, there's a breed of crow similar in some ways to a jackdaw called a chuff from the West Country, and that's more called a chattering. My grandfather, whose family was originally from up there, always called jackdaws chuffs for some reason, but they're actually a different species entirely. Anyway, they're interesting, they're intelligent, they're boisterous, they've got excellent problem-solving skills, they can plan for the future, they can learn who people are up to a point. People who regularly feed crows often find that they bring them gifts and presents in return, and people who are regularly cruel to crows find that they get mobbed or attacked, or the crows all run away at the first sight of them. They're really smart, intelligent birds, and this is really brought home to you when you see them on the daily. Now, wildlife around here has recovered massively in recent years. I've never seen such an abundance, or the full pyramid of life quite so much. You never used to see predatory birds around here, really, very much. And now you just have to look up at the sky and you're all but guaranteed to see either a red kite or a buzzard. Buzzard's something different in the UK, so if you're from abroad, look it up. And a few other species I've seen as well, very small ones. I'm not entirely sure which ones those are. Harriers, maybe. Very rarely see those. But one of the things about crows is that because they live in these colonies and they move around in groups, you'll rarely ever see a crow by itself. They stand guard for predators or farmers, I guess, coming to shoot at them. So while some of the crows are feeding, or some of them are looking after the young and bedding down in the nests and incubating eggs or whatever, they post a guard on top of the tree or the tallest tree in the area to keep an eye out for any predators. And if one gets too close, the guard sounds the alarm and he flies up and he does his best to chase them off. Well, I don't know if it's a guy crow or a girl crow. I don't think it probably matters. See, you see this quite regularly. 1 or 2 or 3 crows chasing off a predatory bird that comes too close, usually a red kite. And that's always kind of heartening to see. You know, they're brave as well. They're brave birds. And usually the kite will just fuck off. But today something a little different happened. So I'm walking and there's a kite almost shadowing me, really, flying along with me. And for the first time ever, I see a magpie, which are normally solitary birds, fly up and chase him off in the same way that I'd seen crows do it. And then once it's chased on enough, the magpie returns presumably to a nest or feeding site or whatever it was. So I carry on, and this kite's still hovering, and we get close to the crow's colony, and sure enough, guard crow sets off the alarm, and he flies up to have a go at this kite. It was the first time I've ever seen it, but this time the kite turned on the crow, and they had a wheeling fight around in the sky. So I then stopped and watched. I would have recorded it if I could, but a phone camera is not really up to it. All you'd see is two specks. And then they just smack together really hard, and the crow, poor sod, falls out the sky and lands in the field. And then a whole bunch of other crows rise up and chase this bastard off. It's just nature red in tooth and claw as it is, but it was just kind of magnificent to see, I guess. So a crow sacrificed his life to defend the rest of the crows, and this kite, presumably it just was pissed off or so hungry that it decided to turn, which I've never seen them do before, and fight back, which is dangerous because crows are pretty pecky. But yeah, this poor crow gave his life to save the colony, and that just kind of says it all, I think, really, that they're brave, intelligent, exquisitely adapted creatures, and I love them. And safe journeys to Valhalla, Crow Bro.